Up in the far north, a silent gold rush is underway. While the world focuses on other headlines, a high-stakes game is unfolding in the Arctic. As the ice melts, it's not just revealing a changing climate, it's unlocking a treasure trove of resources and strategic waterways, turning a once frozen wasteland into the world's next great economic and territorial frontier. Today, we're diving into why nations are quietly hoarding Arctic resources and what it means for the future of global power. For centuries, the Arctic has been a formidable, ice-locked fortress. But now we're witnessing the Great Thaw. Climate change is acting as a key, unlocking territories and resources that were previously inaccessible. Imagine this. The US Geological Survey estimates that the Arctic holds about 13% of the world's undiscovered oil, and a staggering 30% of its undiscovered natural gas. And that's not even counting the vast deposits of critical minerals like rare earth elements, which are vital for everything from our smartphones to advanced defense systems. This isn't just an environmental crisis, it's a geopolitical catalyst, redrawing the map of what's possible and what's valuable. The melting ice is literally creating new land and sea, and with it, a new era of competition. So, who are the main players on this strategic chessboard? First, there's Russia. With the longest Arctic coastline, Russia has always seen the region as its strategic backyard. In recent years, Moscow has been aggressively reopening Soviet-era military bases, deploying new icebreakers, and modernizing its northern fleet. They aren't just protecting their territory, they're projecting power and staking a claim to control the future of Arctic shipping, particularly the Northern Sea route. This route, running along Russia's northern coast, could slash shipping times between Europe and Asia by up to 40%. For Russia, controlling this passage means controlling a massive economic artery. Then there's the unexpected player, China. Despite having no Arctic territory, Beijing has declared itself a near-Arctic state and is pouring billions into its Polar Silk Road initiative. China is strategically investing in everything from Russian natural gas projects to Greenland's mining sector and Icelandic ports. Their goal is clear: secure access to resources and shipping lanes to fuel their economy and expand their global influence. They're playing the long game, using economic diplomacy and scientific research as a soft power foothold in a region where they technically have no sovereign rights. Their presence is making the traditional Arctic nations very nervous. Of course, the Western powers aren't just sitting on the sidelines. The United States, through Alaska, is an Arctic nation and is re-evaluating its long-neglected strategy. The US is increasing its military exercises, investing in new icebreakers to catch up with Russia's massive fleet, and working to strengthen alliances with other Arctic states. Canada, which controls a huge portion of the Arctic archipelago, is also fortifying its claims over the Northwest Passage, another potential shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific. And let's not forget the Nordic countries: Norway, Denmark via Greenland, Finland, Sweden, and Iceland. They are on the front lines, forming a crucial bloc within NATO, and working together to monitor Russian and Chinese activities, all while trying to balance their own economic ambitions with environmental concerns. So what's actually at stake in this race for riches? It's about more than just oil and gas. The demand for critical minerals is exploding. The green technology revolution, from electric vehicle batteries to wind turbines, depends on rare earth elements that are believed to lie in abundance beneath the Arctic seabed. Defense industries also rely on these minerals for advanced technologies like fighter jets and missile guidance systems. Whoever controls the supply of these materials will have immense leverage in the 21st century economy. Beyond minerals, the new shipping lanes are a game changer. The Northern Sea route and the Northwest Passage promise to revolutionize global trade, offering faster, more direct routes that bypass traditional choke points like the Suez and Panama canals. This could realign global supply chains and shift economic power. And as the ice retreats, vast new fishing grounds are opening up, creating both opportunity and potential conflict over who has the right to harvest these newly accessible marine resources. Fisheries that were once locked under ice are now becoming the source of international disputes. This modern scramble has echoes of past geopolitical tensions. The lines on the map are blurry, territorial claims often overlap. And the framework meant to govern this, the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, is being tested like never before. Nations are submitting competing claims to extend their continental shelves, essentially trying to grab as much of the Arctic seabed as they can. Russia, Canada, and Denmark all have overlapping claims right at the North Pole. This legal and diplomatic maneuvering is backed by a growing military presence. We're seeing more frequent and larger-scale military exercises from all sides. Submarines patrol beneath the ice, fighter jets conduct drills overhead, and soldiers train for cold weather combat. In such a fragile and extreme environment, the risk of a miscalculation or an accident sparking a wider conflict is terrifyingly real. A single incident could quickly spiral out of control, and caught in the middle of this great power competition are the 4 million people who actually live in the Arctic, including hundreds of thousands of indigenous peoples. For them, this isn't a geopolitical game, it's their home. Their traditional way of life is already threatened by climate change, and now they face the added pressure of resource extraction, industrial shipping, and militarization. Their voices are crucial in this conversation, as they are the stewards of the land, yet they are often marginalized in the rush for profit and power. This brings us to the ultimate question. What does the future of the Arctic look like? Will it be a zone of cooperation or a theater of conflict? There is a delicate, almost impossible balance to be struck between resource extraction and environmental protection. The Arctic is one of the most sensitive ecosystems on the planet, and an oil spill or industrial accident here would be catastrophic and almost impossible to clean up. There are forums like the Arctic Council, which have historically been a model of international cooperation, even during times of tension. This body brings together the 8 Arctic states and indigenous groups to discuss issues of sustainable development and environmental protection. However, its work has been largely suspended due to the conflict in Ukraine, leaving a dangerous vacuum in regional governance. The hope is that such collaborative platforms can be revitalized to manage Arctic development sustainably, ensuring that any activity is governed by strict environmental standards. The long-term implications of this silent gold rush are massive. What happens in the Arctic won't stay in the Arctic. It will shape global power dynamics, impact economic stability, and define our collective ability to manage the planet's resources responsibly. Will nations work together to create a peaceful, sustainable future for the region, or will the lure of untold riches lead to a new Cold War fought on a melting battlefield? The decisions being made today, in the quiet corridors of power and on the icy plains of the North, will answer that question. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this dive into Arctic geopolitics interesting, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world. Let us know in the comments what you think the future holds for the Arctic. See you next time.